Good afternoon. Welcome to Jim Munley's World of Weather. Clicked on to long-range weather forecast discussion for January 9th to 21st, January 9th to 13th. This is what we're forecasting here. We have a trough here near the west coast, a little bit of a split flow. And we have negative high anomalies near the Aleutians, ridge over the west, trough here in the east that will lift out, and we'll transition to a ridge in the east, come to 13th. And we look at the rest of the models, you see relatively a flat flow, but then this pattern changes again, and it will go to a ridge in the west and a weak trough in the east. During this period, heavy precipitation is forecast for California into the central and southern Rockies. Snow is forecast in the northern plains and the upper Mississippi Valley. Rain is forecast for the lower Mississippi Valley into the southeast and the mid-Atlantic by next weekend. There is a potential for some ice across the north as cold air moves into the northern U.S. the plains across the Great Lakes. Precipitation will spread into the northwest by the end of the weekend, and temperatures will be rather variable across much of the nation as this pattern changes and flips. January 12th to 16th. We're looking at the pattern for we go at the 13th, and we go to the 16th. This is a GFS, and you can see a little bit, and you can see a little bit of a troughing here that develops. This positive height anomalies start to move out here. But as long as we have this upper trough here, this upper low rather, over the northern pole, cold air won't be able to sink southward, but there will be some cold air as it sinks down into the plains. And then we look at the other models. They're in good agreement on this. So for this forecast period, I am forecasting above normal temperatures here and here. Forecast anomalies to be at least 6 degrees or more above normal here, and about up to 6 degrees above normal in the east. Below normal temperatures are forecast for this region, with anomalies of 6 degrees below normal. And for precipitation, above normal precipitation forecast for Washington and Oregon, probability of occurrence is 35%. Above normal precipitation forecast for this region, probability of 30 to 55%. Below normal precipitation forecast for this area here and for the central Rockies, and probability of occurrence is 35%. Now we're going to look at the period for January 17th to 21st. Here at the 17th, now we still have this upper low here, but we have strong positive height anomalies across the polar region. This will sink southward a little, and we'll have positive height anomalies across the polar region. But we have a ridge here, trough here, and the models are a little bit at odds, but I'm going to show you here. This is the NAO, which is forecast to be positive as you look at the ensembles, and then we look at the the NAO. That's the ensembles. This is the forecast. They're negative. We look at the AO. It's negative, allowing cold air to come south, but the ensemble means also showing to go negative. But at the same time, the PNA is positive. That favors a ridge in the west. So it might be time for the flow to catch up to what these charts are showing. So for this forecast period, let me see if I can get back to here. Okay, 17th to 21st. You can see some of the models bring this trough along the west coast further inland. And that's the GFS. And then compared to its ensembles, keeps it more offshore. You can see it back here. But we still have a rather flat flow with above normal heights across much of the nation. And then we look at the rest of the models. You can see maybe possibly a trough starting to develop here. We have neutral to positive height anomalies across the polar regions. And if you have positive height anomalies here in the ensembles, GFS ensembles, that would favor colder air eventually coming back into the lower 48s. So for this forecast period, forecasting pretty much above normal temperatures across much of the nation. Anomalies will be about 6 degrees or more. And for precipitation, calling for above normal precipitation here. Probability of occurrence is 30 to 55%. And we have below normal precipitation forecast for this region here. Probability of occurrence is 35%. So that's a long range weather forecast discussion for January 9th to 21st. Thanks for coming to Jim Munley's World of Weather, and have a good day.